throwaway account because now I'm paranoid. This morning I had a scary experience. This is the first time something like this has ever happened to me. I'm a 21-year-old female and I live alone. I'm not in the best neighborhood, but there are definitely worse places to live. I was leaving my apartment to go to a job that I work sometimes. There was a guy lurking around, but I didn't think anything of it until the guy got in a vehicle with someone and they started to follow me. I took a couple of detours to make sure they were actually following me, and to my fear, they were. I slowly made my way to the parking lot of a busy grocery store. I made sure there were lots of people around before I parked my car. I parked and waited. They pulled behind me and blocked me in my parking space. Then the same guy that was lurking around came up to my window. I only cracked my window an inch. The man asked me why I was running from him. Like, what the fuck? He was following me. I was trembling at this point. He then asked me if I knew someone that I'd never heard of before. He was also asking about where I live. I didn't give him anything specific, even though this man had literally followed me from my apartment. I then asked him to please leave me alone. Surprisingly, he did. He left immediately without saying anything else, thankfully. But that didn't change the fact that he had followed me and scared me. And now I no longer feel safe in my own home. This happened when I was 17 years old. I'm now 20. I'm from Bosnia and used to go fishing with my friends whenever I could. When the summer break began, we used to explore many rivers. Usually, we would encounter animals or people, but nothing special. For this story, keep in mind that the legal drinking age in Bosnia is 18. So we would usually take a bus to a location or just walk to it. One night, me and my friends sat on a bus and went to a city not too far away. I won't be telling the name because it's a small country and I've always had a phobia of someone from the internet finding me. Anyways, we reached our destination and before exiting the bus, an old creepy drunk guy said something along the lines of, "You boys going fishing?" To which I replied, "Yes, in the lake name." In which he replied, "Well, good luck then. I hope you catch some fish," with a really creepy laugh. Fast forward and we arrived at the lake, which was very beautiful, so we started fishing. At around 1:30, after we'd had some beers, we could hear arguing in the distance. My friend took out a flashlight and shined it in the distance, and as he went over to a bush, someone clearly crouched down. As there were many of us, we weren't really scared. Me and the friend with the flashlight went to go investigate it, while the others stayed near the campfire. Upon arriving at the bush, we spotted the same old drunk guy from the bus crawling in the grass. We asked him what he was doing, in which he replied he was hunting. We didn't see any weapon on him whatsoever, so I proceeded to ask, "What are you hunting without a weapon?" The man got up and said, "Look, this is a coincidence. I'm gonna get going," while stumbling away. We returned to the campfire and tried to enjoy the rest of the night. Then, at around 4 a.m., we heard someone angrily shooting in the distance again. We turned around and spotted this buff guy in a black shirt covered in tattoos. Behind him was the old guy. "What do you think you're doing on my property?" he said to us. "Sir, we were just fishing and didn't know this property was yours." In the argument, I could see my friends packing the fishing rods and all the other things we'd brought. My friends made a run for it in the forest, leaving me and the other friend behind. "Okay, you're gonna call your friends and tell them to come back or else you're not leaving," said the buff guy. Of course, I did not want to do that, as I did nothing bad. We were quiet, just talking, doing nothing to disturb no one. And plus, the river was like 300 meters away from all the houses. My friend tells the man we're going and starts to walk. Now this is when it gets scary. The dude grabs my friend by the neck and starts arguing with him. I jumped in and hit the guy in the face and started running towards the road. He lets go of my friend and chases after me. After running for about a minute, the dude gets tired. I ended up exiting in the trees and going onto the street. Then I waited on a bench for some time and finally saw my friend coming. He sits next to me and tells me that when the dude started chasing me, the old guy jumped on him with a hunting knife. He thankfully missed my friend, and my friend ended up pushing the dude and running as well. We called the cops after that. A patrol came and we gave our statement. We called our other friends and ended up meeting up with them. The cops explained to us that the part where we had been was private property. But again, the fact that the guy grabbed my friend by the neck was not how he should have reacted. We ended up going home, and nowadays we laugh at this story. I met this guy on a popular dating app. He's my same age, 25. He teaches middle and high schoolers. He loves to cook and be adventurous. He's funny and so on. Really seems like the whole package, and we got along great. We had a lovely first date. We went to a bar, got a drink, and then took a stroll for ice cream. We parted ways after this, and he asked to see me again, but didn't even try to kiss me. Honestly, it was refreshing. I feel like people so often rush intimacy, so I appreciated the slow pace. We went on several more great dates over the next few weeks. My favorite one was going roller skating, followed by the arcade, and then we camped the night for a beer and some pool. At this point, we were getting pretty comfortable with each other, getting a little handsy, making out a bunch, but mostly filling our days with fun activities. We got really into playing pool with each other, and we'd end most of our dates playing pool. We were a little tipsy, curled up in the corner of my favorite bar, when he asks me, if you could go back and change anything about your life, what would it be? I don't know why I picked this event out of everything, but I picked this one encounter I had as a child. I was a ballet dancer, and this much older man was externally inappropriate with us young dancers. I briefly told him the story, said I wish it never happened to me, or at the very least that creep would have gotten kicked out. He was sympathetic and caring. I asked him the same question he asked me. If you could go back and change anything about your life, what would it be? He glanced down and back up at me, letting out a sigh, and said, "Well, I hooked up with a 15-year-old a few months ago." Obviously, I was shocked and asked him to explain how exactly that happens. He told me he had met her off a dating website and had no idea she was underage, but found out after they had slept together. Then continued to hang out with her, but didn't do anything sexual. They were just friends. I asked him why he would be friends with this kid he accidentally banged, and he said he liked the attention. I absolutely do not believe that he didn't know she was 15. I mean, he spends all his days with middle and high schoolers. But I seriously don't believe that they didn't do anything further, Mr. I like the attention. Completely repulsive and pathetic. Glad I dodged that bullet. I wasn't sure what to do because I have no proof and didn't even know this girl's name. So I called the sexual assault hotline and asked them for advice on what to do. The very nice lady told me the cops would be pretty useless since I don't have any concrete information, but did say that I can contact our state's Board of Education, and they will automatically launch an investigation. It's not much, but it's the best I can do. I really hope he doesn't hurt any more kids. Seriously, fuck that guy. Background: when I was in 5th grade, I met Caitlin, name changed. I would stay over at her house constantly. Her mom was a drunk, that's a whole other story, and her dad locked himself away in a room to smoke weed and watch TV all the time. She has a sister who didn't come out of her room either. Her parents had a friend, let's call him Keith. Keith would come over after the bar closed and leave before morning. At night, we would be in her room playing or sleeping. Keith would come in and immediately Caitlin would get up and tell me she'd be right back. Caitlin would always get Keith to leave her room with her, and they would watch a movie or a show on the couch. I was so jealous that she got to watch movies late at night, so sometimes I would come out in the living room to join them. She would always make a point to leave room on the other side of her for me to sit. Over the years, we grew apart, and honestly, I didn't think much of it. I was young and didn't understand what was going on, or I blocked it out. In high school, I started to notice she was getting into rough stuff, and I saw marks on her wrists. When I confronted her to talk about it, she spilled what was really happening during those movies. This happened from 2nd grade to 7th grade. Once she told me, the memories all came back. She saved me, and I had no idea. I could have helped, and instead, she wanted to protect me. I wish I had a beautiful ending, but she ended up telling her parents, and all they did was kick him out of their life and beat the crap out of him. Her parents became sober while she got into drugs. She became a dancer and an escort. She got married and had children, but still uses. I got a life that I'm proud of because she let me. I will always feel this sense of guilt, but I promise to do good for her. She gave up on her life and innocence so I could live unharmed. I don't remember that guy's name, or I would blast that motherfucker. I don't remember much from those nights. Hello, chill and thrill seekers. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell to be alerted of all future videos.